You are surrounded by noise, not just sound, but people. People who complain, people who envy, people who smile in your face and quietly hope you fall apart when you leave the room. And if you don't learn how to deal with them properly, you won't just suffer because of them. You will slowly become one of them, reactive, bitter, easy to control. This is where two philosophies, often misunderstood, often kept apart, collide in a way that creates something far more powerful than either alone: Stoicism and Machiavellianism. Most people think Stoicism is about being passive, about enduring pain quietly, taking hits, staying silent no matter what happens. That's a weak man's interpretation. Real Stoicism is not about submission, it's about control. Total internal control. It's about reaching a state where nothing external has authority over your emotions. No insult can shake you. No betrayal can destabilize you. No rejection can define you. You don't react, you decide. That is power. But here's the problem. Controlling yourself is only half the battle, because the world you live in is not neutral. People are not neutral. This is where Machiavellian thinking enters, and why so many are afraid of it. It sounds cold, manipulative, ruthless, and in many ways it is. But it also forces you to confront reality without illusions. People compete. People test boundaries. People disguise intentions. And if you walk through life pretending otherwise, you will be used, repeatedly, predictably, and without mercy. When you combine these two ways of thinking, something shifts. Stoicism gives you the ability to master your internal world. Machiavellianism sharpens your awareness of the external one. One builds your armor, the other teaches you where the attacks are coming from. Together, they make you extremely difficult to break. And this isn't theory, this is practical. It starts with how you respond, or rather, how you stop responding to negativity. Negative people feed on reactions. They provoke, they criticize, they push. Not because they're strong, but because they're looking for control. If they can dictate your emotional state, they own you in that moment. Most men fail here. They argue, they defend, they try to win every exchange. But a man who has control doesn't play that game. He observes. He stays composed. He chooses if a response is even necessary, and that alone disrupts the entire dynamic. From there, you begin to see people differently, not emotionally, but strategically. This is where things get uncomfortable, because it requires honesty. Not everyone in your life is good for you. Some people drain your energy. Some distract you from your goals. Some quietly resent your progress. And yet, many men keep these people close out of guilt, habit, or fear of being alone. That is a mistake. Your time, your attention, your focus, these are resources, limited ones. And giving them to the wrong people is not kindness. It's self-sabotage. You don't need to announce your distance. You don't need confrontation. You simply reduce access. You become more private, more selective. You stop treating your life like an open door. And something interesting happens when you do this. You stop needing to be liked. This is one of the biggest traps men fall into. The need for approval, the need to be seen as agreeable, as good, as acceptable to everyone around them. And because of that need, they tolerate disrespect. They laugh at things that bother them. They stay silent when they should walk away. They shrink themselves to maintain comfort. But once you step into control, you realize something simple. Being disliked is not a threat. Being controlled is, and in many cases, being underestimated, even disliked, becomes an advantage. Because when you're no longer performing for approval, you're free to act with intention. This is where your awareness sharpens. You stop listening only to what people say, and you start watching what they do. Words become secondary. Patterns become everything. You notice who supports you when there's nothing to gain. You notice who disappears when things get difficult. You notice who subtly competes, who deflects, who pretends. And the key difference is this: you don't get emotional about it. You don't need to confront every inconsistency or expose every hidden intention. That's inefficient. Instead, you adjust quietly. You change how much access someone has to you. You reposition yourself without drama. You move with awareness, not impulse. At the same time, you build something most people never develop: emotional independence. If your mood depends on how others treat you, you will always be vulnerable. One comment can throw you off. One rejection can derail you. One person leaving can destabilize your entire sense of self. That's not strength. That's dependence. A man grounded in control generates his stability internally. He doesn't outsource his identity to the opinions of others. He doesn't rely on constant validation to feel secure. And because of that, negative people lose their leverage. There's nothing for them to grab onto. From there, your decisions become sharper. You stop engaging in every conflict. You stop reacting to every slight. You begin to choose your battles with precision. Some things aren't worth your time. Some people aren't worth your energy. And sometimes the strongest move you can make is to say nothing at all and continue forward. Because winning arguments is meaningless if you're losing direction. This also means you stop over-explaining yourself. You stop justifying every decision, every move, every boundary. You decide and you act. People will misunderstand you. They will project their own interpretations onto your behavior. Let them. Their understanding is not a requirement for your progress. And here is the part most people avoid. If you truly apply this way of thinking, your life will change, but not comfortably. You will lose people. Some will call you distant. Some will say you've changed. Some will feel threatened by your lack of reactivity, by your refusal to engage the way you used to. And they will be right. You have changed. You are no longer easy to influence, no longer predictable, no longer available for manipulation. You've become controlled. This is the modern fusion of Stoicism and Machiavellian awareness. You are steady internally and clear externally. You are not cold, you are precise. You are not emotionless, you are disciplined. You don't avoid reality, you see it without distortion, and that makes you resilient in a way most people never become. So this is the wake-up call. Stop reacting like your emotions are public property. Stop giving your time and energy to people who haven't earned it. Stop confusing being agreeable with being strong. Build control, build awareness, build independence. Because the world is not going to adjust itself to protect you. People are not going to become kinder just because you are. And if you don't evolve, you will remain exactly where you are, surrounded, influenced, and controlled by forces you never took the time to understand. So decide, will you continue reacting to everything around you? Or will you become the man who observes, understands, and moves with intention, unshaken, aware, and in control? One of those paths requires nothing, the other requires everything. Choose. If this spoke to you, don't ignore it. This is your wake-up call. Hit like, subscribe, and step into more content that forces real change. Thank you.